the structure. And before I go, see this you can go through yourself. These are structures here. No? What's the problem?
So let's move on to project 3, which is our major proposal. So today, as I said, I'm going to talk about structure. I'm going to give you now a rundown of everything that needs to be in your document, the major proposal document, and I'll cover each of them individually in a moment. This is the listing of headings that you should have in your proposal document, and you should format them as heading.
So these are some of the important elements that you have to include in your proposal, like executive summary. See, because we say that we have different formats, but sometimes we will try to some important elements: executive summary, introduction, statement of the problem, opportunity, objectives, methods or activities, resources, human and other resources. We said yes, schedule, justifications, budget, measurements, and all this stuff.
So that it's clear the structure of the document, how it works. And the reason for that is that proposals are often read discontinuously. Someone will take a piece of it, read it in isolation from the others. So you need to have headings that indicate what the sections are.
You got it here what he's saying. إنه أحيانا ممكن يقسموا البروبوزل اللي تقدمه على أكثر من department، على أكثر من قسم، كل قسم يأخذ الجزء اللي هو مختص فيه. Because of this you have to keep or to pay attention to headings. عشان كده لازم تهتم بالheadings، العناوين الموجودة في every section. Yes?
And you also need to write it in a way so that someone who picks up just a piece of it can get what they need from it. An example of this would be if you've got a proposal that's making its way through levels of decision-making in a company, chances are the person who manages the accounting, the finance, the CFO of the company or the controller of the company is going to be mostly interested in, for example, what the budget says. And
you got the idea here. First of all, can you follow him? تقدروا تفهموا اللي يقوله؟ يعني اوكي فنحن نتكلم على الانسان المهتم بالميزانيه او المسؤول المالي فين بيروح لاي جزء budget yes الميزانيه here budget اللي هي الميزانيه بيروح ياخذ على طول هذا الجزء this section yes.
So that person receiving this proposal might flip directly to the budget. And so the document needs to be well organized so that that person can find exactly what he or she needs. And it also needs to be written consistently so that everything that's in the budget is reflected in the rest of the proposal, and everything in the rest of the proposal is reflected in the budget. Each section should be clear to you in terms of what it needs to do. And if it's not, please do ask and I'll clarify. So the first thing is the executive summary. And the executive summary should be a very brief, one paragraph, less than a page, a sort of 50,000-foot view of the entire.
So executive summary, one page, yes? Not more than one page.
One page or one paragraph?
One paragraph.
Proposal. It should be an abstract of all the elements of the proposal. And this should be written in a way so that an executive making a decision on a proposal has what he or she needs to make that decision just by reading what's in the executive summary. And there should be no surprises in the rest of the proposal. So the executive summary needs to be a bottom line. How much something is going to cost, how long it's going to take, what problem it's going to solve, and what your proposal will deliver. So this really needs to be an abstract of the entire proposal that you're making. The next section is the introduction, and the introduction provides an overview of the proposal. Now, the executive summary has given an overview of the entire project. The introduction serves to say, here's what I'm going to cover in this particular proposal. It shows your familiarity with the problem, positions you as the person or your team as the ones to solve the problem, and it puts the problem in a business or organization context that the person reading it can understand. So this, again, it should be a fairly brief section, simply to say, here's what you'll find in this document. The next section in the list is the statement of the problem or opportunity, and this is a really critical, key section of the proposal.
This is the key section of the proposal, statement of the problem. Yes?
Because what you're doing in this section is you are demonstrating that you understand the problem or the magnitude of the opportunity. You're establishing your credibility to deal with that problem or to address the opportunity. And you're also motivating some urgency around addressing the problem or the opportunity. So this section is really about positioning you as an authority on the problem or opportunity and getting buy-in from your reader that this is a problem that needs to be solved or an opportunity that must be pursued. Having established the problem or opportunity, you move to the objectives. The objectives really details your solution to the problem or shows how you'd like.
So in these objectives, you give solutions to the problems. Yes, to the problem.
Like to address the opportunity. It answers the question, what does the solved problem look like? And you should be as specific as you can in this section. You should provide metrics. If you're addressing a new market, what the sales are likely to be in that new market. If you're proposing something that will make the company or organization more efficient, then how much more efficient will it be? Talk about percentage of increase in sales or percentage decrease in cost. Now, these metrics need to. After you establish the objectives, you're going to talk about the method or activities. This is how you go about solving the problem or addressing the opportunity. How you're going to get.
So in objectives, you're discussing what? The solutions. In methods, how you implement, how you're going to implement these solutions. Yes? So in methods, that's what you have to include.
To the objectives that you've just stated. So. What you'll do here is propose exactly what you want to do, what your project looks like. Right? You should talk about a detailed plan for delivering on the solution that you've outlined so far. You may need to do some research on this. You may need to look at some of the research activities I talked about in the previous video about developing the proposal topic. You should address alternative solutions.
كمان هنا ممكن تذكر حلول أخرى نسميه alternative solutions. You can include
to say that we could solve this in 3 ways, A, B, or C. A is the best way to solve it because B and C fall short in these particular areas. Show the person reading it that you've thought carefully about all the alternatives, but in this.
To show to your reader that you have considered other solutions. عشان تقول إنك كمان اهتميت بيه أو تعرف عن حلول أخرى. لكن this one is the best because it has the following. Yes, you have to compare.
Proposal. You are proposing a single best path forward that you believe will solve the problem. And this section, the method or activity section, becomes your implementation plan. This is what you will deliver if the proposal is accepted. After that, there are several sections that talk about.
This is an implementation plan. You are showing how your proposal can be implemented. Yes? فلما تقدم العروض الأخرى وإنه هذا الأفضل وكذا وتثبت. This is how you prove it that it can be implemented and it is the best.
The nuts and bolts. First is resources. That could be human resources, the people you will need to work on this. Everything you do has a communication section. So this section only applies for bid proposals and research proposals. Second to the last is the budget. And this is what we might call a quantitative abstract of the proposal. Everything you do has a cost, and every cost needs to be reflected in the budget.
So this is the cost. Yeah, you include everything here. Yes?
And that's true whether you're saying we are going to take people off of this job and put them onto this job, there's a cost to that. Think about, in terms of economics, what the opportunity cost is. Everything that you do comes at the cost of not doing the next best thing you could be doing. So your budget needs to reflect the real cost of all of the things that you've undertaken in the course of the proposal. So there should be nothing in your proposal that isn't reflected as a line of business. Finally, the measurement section. Here, you'll take the metrics that you established in the objectives section, and you will show how you're going to measure progress. It's very important to